Well, corporate and foundation almost always is translational. How are you going to have the greatest impact for the greatest number of people? You take, for example, the Golden Leaf Foundation. Golden Leaf Foundation is there to provide jobs. If you go to the Golden Leaf Foundation, you're going to have to show on a spreadsheet, they call it their project management plan, and you're going to have to show how each stage of your project leads to more jobs. And at the end of that grant, how many jobs will you have produced by the end of that project? Kate B. Reynolds Charitable Trust has moved from when I got here 15 years ago to funding just about any project you could think of that helped the financially needy get access to health care. They have narrowed that focus so much that now they're funding projects in the communities, and the only way the university is going to get a grant is if they work with those community partners to impact healthcare in those communities. So it's very translational in nature.
I would argue the same thing from a federal perspective, and I think it's a question of semantics in some cases, and where you use the word translational, I think that you're more apt to hear a product, or in the case of many of the agencies now, it's all about deliverables. So how can you take what you've learned and apply it in some way that if it's educational, it becomes a module, and then that allows NSF to distribute that model beyond the scope of your program. So I think in many cases, it's embedded in the thought process of many of the agencies. You may just use different words to describe the word translational.
Well, the Biotech Center for years did fund more mechanistic, basic research where the line to eventual tangible outcomes of the research could be a fairly dotted line. That's not the case anymore for us. It's not the case anymore for most funding agencies. We really want to see a solid connection between what you're doing and how this could evolve into something that solves problems. The purpose of a project being to grow knowledge in a particular area is a laudable thing. It's why a lot of us got involved in as scientists. That just isn't enough. The good news is that there are a lot of resources to help you think through and put some parameters around what sort of opportunities might exist for your innovation. Marty's crew in particular is very strong in that regard. There are other on-campus resources. There are always interns looking at doing projects. We do the same at the Biotech Center. We've got a wonderful library that's dedicated to the business of biotechnology, where you can get some market research done, some competitive intelligence. Who else is developing something in the same place? Who's investing in those things? Those resources are out there, and they're business students, they're postdocs looking at getting a taste of the dark side, whatever it is, to kind of help you explore some of those. In the SBTDC, Mike's organization also has some of those resources in-house, and those are available to you for pennies on the dollar, if not for free.